Hello, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We are a little bit behind, but we're here. Fingers crossed I have everything right off the start. Yeah, cross all your fingers. Gabe is unable to be here with us tonight. However, we do have this delightful cartoon of him that will be doing double finger guns at you the entire episode. So please enjoy. This is now canon. Gabe is a young Uncle Iroh. Netflix. I know you're working on an Avatar: The Last Airbender live action. If you need an Uncle Iroh, choose somebody else. Okay. Who would like to recap what happened last time? It's been a little bit. It feels like we haven't played in forever. Ooh, give me 1 second. There's no sound from you guys. I know. I'm so upset. Let's see here. Why? I'm gonna figure this out.
Typically Dream Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Such a good game.
Can you hear them now?
Hello.
They should be able to. Oh man,
This
one of
is
these.
ground
I love the fact that I got
control.
into this session and started with, I think I got it all right this time. And you guys just were not transmitting audio. That's fantastic.
Well, I guess they didn't hear us disrespecting you and not listening to you. I guess we got
Yeah.
the total, like, can you guys hear us? We're like, oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that we weren't transmitting any audio at that point. But for those of you who are in the chat, as I was trying to get everything set up and letting people know where we were at in the stream countdown and stuff, people were just having a conversation and not acknowledging that I was talking. So we're off to a great start here. Who was recapping? Start over, because they didn't hear you at all.
Oh, yes. I said Shelly tried to murder us all.
Yes.
She partly succeeded.
Podcast, bitch.
Not really, though. So...
I mean, she did down almost all of us.
She did down pretty much all of us. Like, I'm
yes.
giving Nell that. She kicked our asses. But she was being controlled by... Crick.
So,
Yes.
basically started off from the previous session. Billy sent Shelly to the house that was on fire, and they were gonna wake up or just check it out, and she never came back. And then Billy realized that something had happened to her because she was collapsed in the building, and then basically we went into combat, tried to sorry, I just got tea delivered to me. Yeah, no, it was basically like a comedy of errors where we are all just getting our asses handed to us by our healer, and Crick, who was in the building, being an asshole.
That's about right, yeah. It didn't go great for people. Most of you were on the ground dying.
Yeah,
I think it was Nori, then Nori went down, then
So it was like Nori, Thrax, and Shelly.
yeah.
Roddy was the only one left up. The last one to go
And
down was Rad.
Was Rad.
And
And
then
Rad,
Billy
it
went
was
down.
mostly self-inflicted from becoming Mario. by just dropping and jumping on all of his enemies.
Rad's
really
damage
cool
was
illusion.
mostly fall damage based.
Yeah, I did a really cool illusion, which Rad immediately ruined by jumping through it.
It was a very effective illusion for the one round it was there.
Sorry. Hey, but then you got knocked out and it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah, and then we were all knocked out, and then everyone was knocked out except for Roddy, and then everybody disappeared, and then almost, who was it? Who woke up? I think, was it Thrax that woke up?
Yes.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And he was very excited to see his favorite captain boy, Captain Ramsey.
Captain Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And everyone else
Captain
was in a
Cat
cell except Roddy.
You did not see Roddy. Yep.
And Billy had an indeterminate amount of hands because they are still asleep.
Very, very good. Well done, everybody. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump in here. You guys are on the ship. You are below decks, and you had started to hear combat happening outside. So...
Are we all awake now?
You are all awake.
Oh, cool.
All in separate cells.
You are all in separate cells. As you are sort of pulling yourselves together, getting up, trying to wake yourselves up, you see people running around. You see a couple of individuals who are attempting to get holes in the side patched. You see people grabbing large ballista bolts from a stack at the back of the ship and carrying them to the stairs and going up. What is everybody doing?
I would like to cast Knock on the cell.
For a moment, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a great spell choice." And then I realized not only do you not have that spell, but no one else does either in this game.
No spell.
Is there anybody down here with us?
You see people running around. They don't seem to be paying a whole lot of attention to you guys.
Can I ventriloquist Captain Ramsey to say, open the gates, open the cell, the prisoner cells, like it's coming from up top?
That's good.
You can try it. You'll need to give me your best impression of Captain Ramsey.
God, then why did I choose this feat? I hate everything about this.
Just to torture yourself, just a little, you know?
Alright, let me just double check what the thing is for it. So it's a 20 feet distance. So upstairs would be 20 feet, like coming down from the stairwell.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're gonna do. I have to do a charisma check. So let me do that to see how good this is gonna be.
Okay.
It is a charisma.
Stop sitting like a gremlin.
Charisma. Oh, there we go. Ugh. Oh, and chat, just so you know, I lost my inspiration to Thrax during our convention stay, during an arm wrestling contest that Shelly moderated very well.
So technically, Billy, 0 points of inspiration right now, and Thrax, technically, 2 points of inspiration right now. But Thrax is not here, and is sound asleep in his cell.
So, all right. He's got like a raspy voice, kind of like a snake or something. Oh God, I hate my life.
I just imagine like one of the Siamese cats from Lady and the Tramp.
Yes, we are Siamese.
but scarier.
Oh, thank you, Eel Gamer, and that is point of inspiration actually goes to Rad, who figured out my my bad gift to Aaron.
Wait, were you 2 points of inspiration in debt?
Amazing.
Really funny.
I gave him it was a whole big thing, but my gift to Aaron was my con cred from our vacation. All right. So, they hear coming from up above is, God, what is are they?
I cannot wait for this.
I hate it so much. I'm trying to think of the word that he would use. Would they call him, how would he refer to his crew?
It's a good question.
What does the closest one next to me look like? Is he wearing anything indistinguishable? Anything?
Pretty much all of the crew are dressed in exactly the same thing. Which here, let me
Nothing.
let me blow that up on
Naked
the
pirates.
screen for everybody. They're wearing that, which is sort of tattered leathers on top. Hat made of hide and fur with horns coming off of it. A skull has been fashioned into a mask with a bandana underneath it, so you can only see their eyes. And then each of them has two sort of jagged scimitars.
Okay.
Are we wearing any equipment?
Oh.
You would have all of your equipment on you. Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. So they hear very garbly, yes. Open this prisoner's cells.
Nice.
Bring them up here.
Make
You
the
idiots.
make the check. Make the check. And the chat can stop giving Billy points of inspiration because they do already have one.
Okay.
Oh no!
Thank you, EO Gamer, for giving me a point though. Appreciate ya.
Okay.
Gamer just wants to see all those yellow dots all the way
Right.
across.
Yeah. It's you gotta complete the row.
Get a little pat
I
down.
will say. So Rad, you have 2 points because apparently Billy lost 1 point to you.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for the cheer, File Cake. You have 2 points. You'll have to keep track of that. I can't put a second dot on your sheet.
it.
Noel, you do have 1 point. And then because it is Mem who gave another one, and only because it is Mem, there is a loose point of inspiration floating around.
Yay.
Just because I've missed seeing Mem in the chat. Okay. So
13.
13.
And then they have to roll.
They have to roll insight against it, right?
Yeah, a wisdom check. Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Let's see here.
Billy instantly gets stabbed.
While he's rolling that, I just want to say that this is my Star Wars wooden box that I bought grapes in.
Ooh.
What is?
The box behind him.
It's a box, and it says, "May the Force be with you."
Ooh.
And then it's got like Yoda and Darth Vader, and I bought grapes in it
Fancy.
from Sam's Club
So fun.
because
There
the
you go.
world's weird.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's weird.
when I see grapes, I immediately think those look like tiny Death Stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's no moon.
That's no moon. That's a grape.
It's a ton of grapes.
You guys, you hear this voice yell from above, and one of the crew does start walking over to the to one of the cages, picks up a pair of keys that's hanging off of a hook on the wall, grabs that, walks towards one of the cages, and one of the other crew members just smacks him upside the head and takes the keys and puts it back, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And then just runs back up the stairs. And the guy's like, "Oh, right," and then just grabs a stack of ballista bolts and runs back up onto the deck. You did get one person who was very convinced. Unfortunately, the other crew members down here were not so. What is everybody else doing?
Okay. What do I have on me? I have all my equipment.
I mean, Rad would just sort of look at the bars and just see if he thinks he could just try to remove the door?
Yeah, you want to try and just break out?
Yeah.
Make just a straight athletics check.
You got this.
Okay.
Easy money.
Wait, where am I?
Oh, you're not on there.
Rad
Right
goes
in the
up to the
middle.
door and just says, I think I'll remove this door then.
What?
That's Rad, right? I don't remember what Rad sounds like. It's been so long.
That is exactly what Rad sounds like.
That is what Rad sounds like. I remember perfectly.
Fancy a cuppa?
Okay.
Okay.
So you're good.
I'm
you got
grabbing
a
the bars and
12.
pushing as hard as I can.
You got a 12. Would you like to spend one of your points of inspiration?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna save it.
Okay. You hold on to that point of inspiration, and also hold on to the bars that aren't moving. Who's next?
I think Shelly's kind of just come to, so she's just kind of sitting there looking around and seems very bewildered.
Mm-hmm. She look a little out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like Nori looks a little nauseous.
Nori gets land sick.
Yeah, like being on boats.
How about Roddy? What's Roddy doing?
So Roddy's gonna be on the top of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make an acrobatics check?
Yeah, just to do cool shit.
Yeah. So Roddy wants to be on. I'm assuming there's a mast.
There's actually not a mast on the ship here. This particular ship is a sand ship. There's no central mast. There's just these large fins that come out of the sides.
Are they at least partially off the ground?
Yeah. There's also the giant dragon head on the front of the ship.
Is there something supporting underneath the dragon head? Like a little, like a beam of wood or a pipe or a metal beam of some sort.
Why don't you tell me what you're trying to do?
Roddy
I'll
has
put
a
you somewhere.
tri-corner hat on with a little hook on his
Absolutely.
hand. And he's trying to like swing like woo.
Yeah, you are like off the side of the ship, holding on to like one of the giant fins, just like leaning out off the side of the ship there.
Ahoy! Port and starboard! Just pirate nonsense. Roddy's having such a good time pretending to be a pirate right now. Take notes.
Incredible. Okay. You guys, who are below deck. Actually, no. Roddy, up above. Make me a perception check.
This is a guaranteed natural 20 right now. I haven't played in 3 weeks. There's no way that anything could go wrong. 12.
A 12. Yeah, you see that running up to the side of the ship, like right below where you're standing, there is a large knoll. Eyes just blood red, spear in its hand, and a grappling hook in its other hand. And it throws the grappling hook up over the side of the ship and then pulls on it and begins climbing up the side of the ship here.
I
Awesome.
thought Thrax wasn't joining us this week.
Are we going in initiative order right now?
Right now, we are going to enter initiative. So, Roddy,
I know
you
exactly
are
what
top
Roddy
of the
is.
initiative.
Yeah. Wonderful. Can I pull out my sword, unsheath it, and cut the rope as I'm swinging?
Oh my
Ooh.
god.
The you want to hang from what rope?
If I'm on the sail, sort of monkeying around, this dude throws the grappling hook I want to cut the rope that grappling hook is connected to.
Okay. So you want to like jump down onto, so the rope is sort of up onto the side of the ship here. So you want to like jump down here and slash that rope.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a, we'll just call it an acrobatics check. $18, beautiful. Go ahead and make a attack roll against this rope.
Absolutely, I'm about to fuck this rope up.
Okay.
Natural
Okay.
20, baby.
Okay.
Fuck that rope.
Starting off strong. Okay.
Can I confirm that critical with another d20?
So you can. However, we have a new thing for critical successes and critical failures. While we were at Gen Con, I got these decks from Gemhammer and Sons. These are the deck of Sunders and the deck of Blunders. So instead of confirming attacks for critical hits or critical failures, you instead now will get to draw a card from the deck and have that effect go into play instead.
Based on if I roll higher or lower than a 10?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to roll to confirm it all anymore.
So I got a critical.
Right. You just get a critical success card.
Nice.
Deck of Sunders, first card. You gain a +10 bonus to armor class until the start of your next turn. As you jump down, and you are just so limber in this beautiful tumbling acrobatic roll that you're feeling it. The pirate energy is strong with you.
That's what yoga's gonna do for you guys. I'm telling you.
Okay, you slice through this rope. You hear this snarling howl as the knoll that was climbing up the side of the ship plummets down into the sand below. And that is, unless you have something else you want to do, that'll be the end of your turn.
I would like to use a bonus action to give Billy.
So I will ask real quick: is that ability only affect somebody that you can see?
It is.
Okay, so everybody, each of your party members is below deck.
We are below deck.
Ooh, okay, let me give it to this pirate guy up top, closest to me, by the dragon head.
Yeah, absolutely. That guy.
That dude now has advantage on their next attack roll.
Awesome.
How tall is the side of the ship to the sand?
It is.
Like, how far did this knoll fall?
It is about 15 feet.
Okay, sweet.
So it's not a super tall, super tall climb, but it is enough that knocks the air out of him a little bit as he hits the sand.
Awesome.
The worst part is he doesn't know how to swim.
Okay. That brings us to. I keep losing my mouse. I have 3 monitors, and there's a little section right in the middle of the 3 of them that the mouse will go into and not exit. Okay.
It's a mouse trap.
And it is a mouse trap. Oh, Rad. If you had already used up one of your points of inspiration, I would have given you one.
3?
I'm not going to let you have 3 points of inspiration, though. That brings us to Captain Ramsey. From the back of the ship, Captain Ramsey is going to be shouting orders. He does not move. He's going to stay there. He's going to use his ability, which is... he has an ability that I've stolen from the Warlord of 4th edition, that on his turn he can command somebody from his crew to do something. So he is going to have this guy down here launch the ballista at one of these knolls. So let's see how that goes. Oh, beautiful. Okay, that knoll gets eviscerated as a giant ballista bolt just goes through his chest. Nori, that brings us to you. What are you doing?
Excellent. Okay. So we're in a cage. Do we know? God, like if I feel around, can I feel like any like hinges in the cage?
Yeah. There's hinges on the cage door.
Okay. Can I try to like take some camera equipment, like take my sword and like try to like pull the like pin out of the hinge?
Sure. Let's call that a survival check.
Survival check.
That feels
okay.
right. Thank you for resubscribing, C17R. Appreciate you.
14.
14. You are able to find it and sort of start running the blade across it to sort of loosen it up. You've begun prying it, but it's difficult at the angle that you're at.
Okay.
That brings us to all of you who are down below deck. Feel a wind as the door up at the top of the stairs, and a very fast-moving object moves across the inside, and then a stack of harpoons is gone. And then you see back up the top of the stairs. Billy, that brings us to you.
Okay. So.
Also, I want it to be known by everyone in the chat that Noelle has sent me about a dozen stickers through Facebook Messenger of a sloth drinking coffee.
Not realize I'd sent them until afterwards, and the amount of effort it would take to unsend them was just not worth it.
It's fair. It's fair.
Fair.
It's a good sticker. I want everybody to know about it.
It is very cute. So Billy is having failed to get people to open them for them. And oh wait, do I have
Do you have what?
lockpick?
You would have your thieves' tools, absolutely.
Yeah, if I had,
They didn't take any of your equipment away from you.
I'm not the rogue, so I don't have thieves' tools. So.
Roddy has thieves' tools.
Yep.
Even after we talked about it before we started, I was still like, wait, you don't have thieves' tools?
Why don't you have thieves' tools? You're the rogue.
I am. So I guess
I'm the rogue.
Who's the rogue now, dog?
Yeah.
What you doing,
but I have
Billy?
my weapons with me.
You do have your weapons with you. Also, there is a chicken walking around inside your cage.
I look at the chicken. Waffles?
And just sort
And
of
then
like nuzzles into you.
I hug it, and then look around to see everybody, and then clock that Roddy's gone, and then I see Shelly. Is Shelly's awake?
Shelly is awake, but looks
awake.
kind of out of it.
Very, very dazzled.
Dazzled?
I was
Dazzled?
dazed and confused is what I was going for, and dazzled came out.
You look over at Shelly. She is dazzling.
Hello, Billy!
Waffles does have a little tiny pirate hat.
It's actually a bandana that has a little skull and crossbones on it. And there is a feather sticking out of it that is clearly one of their own feathers.
I'm gonna.
There's a little nose ring on their beak.
Oh no.
I'm gonna. So basically, like, use my free action just to see, like, ask Shelly, are you feeling less murderous?
What? I'm feeling what?
You're not gonna murder us, right?
Why would I ever murder any of you?
Perfect. I'm gonna use my dagger to try and pop the lock.
Absolutely. That's going to be a survival check.
I'm gonna use my dagger to stab Shelly as well.
Take them out before they get you. 17.
In Shelly's head, it's just
you manage
engage deception mode.
Activating Fool Your Friends protocol. Billy, are you popping the top or the bottom pin?
Oh, there's 2 locks on my door?
You said you were popping the pin on the door.
Oh, I guess the bottom.
Okay, so you popped the bottom one. That one is popped. The top one is still there, though.
Can I just push it forward then, and then go out?
Make an athletics check. It's a big, heavy door.
You said athletics?
Athletics.
They're wily. Oh, not that wily.
Oh!
I'm gonna...
Okay. Do you want to use one of your only point of inspiration?
Oh my lord.
To reroll that nat 1.
Yes, you
To
do.
a
So it's
nat-
bad. It's not.
I love
bad.
I love that you used a point of inspiration to go from a nat 1 to a 2.
Yep.
That's a beautiful thing. That is.
At least
Go ahead.
At least I don't grievously injure myself.
That's
now.
fair. That is the end of your turn. You at the end of your turn, Waffles just sort of like looks at you and then just goes "Baka," and then just walks through the bars of the cage. That brings us to walking down the stairs. You see a form that I don't think any of you have interacted with before. You see a gobo. He is a small, a little bit of a belly on him. He has a monocle and a curly Q mustache and a beret. And he walks down the stairs and sees all of you are up and trying to break out. And he says, well, what have we here? Well, it looks like we have some sort of encroachers and intrusions, yes? And you all see this individual. Will make him bigger for the chat here. As he walks down, he goes, "It is good to see that you are awake, but I was not expecting this. I thought you would be asleep for many more days."
I hate him so much.
And he walks over to a little closet. He opens it. He puts what appears to be an empty wineskin into it. Takes out a full wineskin, puts that onto his belt, and then walks back up the stairs. That is his whole turn.
Okay, I've completely changed my opinion about this guy. He's now amazing.
That brings us to Roddy. You see walking up next to you is one of the 2 Thrycreen that are on this crew. Thrycreen, for those of you who don't know, are like mantis people. They are insectoid in nature. This one, you make a perception check, Roddy. See if you can tell the difference between the 2 Thrycreen that are on the crew here.
no.
That is a 6. You have not been able to just figure out which one is which. To be fair, it's not because Roddy's racist. It just is because they are identical twin brothers. You see this one walk up. You know that it is one of 2. It could either be Thorax, or it could be Abdomenis. And you don't know which one it is. But he walks up, his mandibles sort of chitter at you as he approaches, and he says, "Excellent job with the rope."
Oh, thanks, appreciate it.
And then he is just going to take one of his hand axes and chuck it off of the ship at one of the other gnolls there. Let's see here.
The same one, a different one.
A different one, yeah. That is a 13, which will miss. And he makes a bunch of like angry chittering under his breath, which you are fairly certain are Thrycreen swears. You've heard him use them a lot, but you haven't picked up exactly what they are. That brings
go
us
next
to the gnolls. So
They all trip and die?
The gnolls are going to
I like that.
run up alongside the ship and begin throwing these grappling hooks over the sides of the ship to begin climbing up. That is their turn, though. That brings us to Rad. What would you
I'm
like
gonna
to
fuck
do?
up this door.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Do it. Free us.
Fuck that door up.
Also, if you have water nearby, hydrate was redeemed.
I ran out of water.
Single drop.
Just a single drop. I'm gonna need it.
What are you
Okay.
doing, Rad?
I think I'm gonna go ahead and burn a rage.
You mean an angst?
An angst. I'm gonna angst.
Okay.
Okay, and that's a 6, which means. Okay, so until my rage ends, I am surrounded by multicolored protective lights. I gain a
Ooh.
+1 bonus to AC, and while within 10 feet of me, my allies gain the same bonus.
Yay!
Excellent. A plus what to AC?
+1.
+1. Okay.
And I'm going to bodily throw myself at this door to just see if I can completely wrench it off, whilst also maybe doing the tiniest bit of damage to myself to maintain my rage.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make an athletics check. You have advantage on it because you're raging. 18. Excellent.
18.
You do barrel through the door. What is your strength modifier?
My strength modifier is a +4.
+4. Okay, so you would take 4 points of damage. You're going to take 2 instead because you're raging. So you barrel through this door.
'Tis but a flesh wound.
You are out in the hall.
Captivity's not like the default state for living beings. Like, you shouldn't put living things in a cage. It's not cool.
It threw me off so much to hear Rad talk like that. I mean, it's such a difference in voice. Oh my goodness.
Rad's of two minds.
I literally just talked this morning on Warlocks about how you guys have managed to be in 3 different jails.
It's a gift. It's a talent.
Yeah.
That's great.
Place like home, baby.
In 3 different cities.
I'm trying to
right?
figure out like a team name that involves prison at this point
Yeah.
because
The Chain Gang. I mean, classic.
Okay, so Rad, that would be your action. You
my
used your bonus
action.
action to rage. You have movement left if you want to use it.
I'm going to move my full 40 feet
There you go, because
Um,
you're a speedy boy now.
to walk over and grab the keys and then like take them to somebody else's. Wait, object interaction is a free action, right? So I could unlock a door,
Let's see here.
right?
Let me verify.
Got you on that one. Foolproof.
Bum bum bum.
Basically one object interaction, I think. As a free action.
So it would be let's see here. From what I can tell, it looks like it's if it's an object interaction that would be like part of an action that you were taking. It's a free action, so like
Gotcha.
you don't have to do anything to draw your sword to attack with your sword. But
Makes
like
sense, makes sense.
going over, grabbing the keys, unlock, like that would all be a part of something else.
Okay, so
But you can you can absolutely grab the keys this round.
Okay, so probably enough movement to grab the keys and then get to somebody else's door, right?
Yeah, whose door do you want to go to?
Let's see.
Nori is trying to open a door with a katana.
you know he's using what he has. Okay.
Yeah, working with what he got.
It looks like Billy is figuring something out.
Billy is working on it.
And I see Waffles
Shelly
just
is
walk
sitting
out.
on the floor.
Yeah, I'm gonna side-eye Shelly real hard and be like, I might save you for last, Shelly. Just to be on the safe side, okay?
What do you mean?
Oh, you definitely tried to kill everybody not long ago. I don't know what to make of that, so I'm gonna let everybody else out first, and then I'll let you out. But I will let you out.
Okay.
Hey, it's okay. We've all been there.
We've all tried to kill our friends.
That is establishing healthy
You
boundaries.
are so you're going over to
I'll go to Nori's
Nori's
cell.
cage. Okay.
You know, we need leadership, right?
Shelly, that brings us to you.
Well, Shelly's been thrown for a loop now. I don't think she's gonna be doing anything. She's just processing what Brad just said. She doesn't remember much, and what she does remember is all jumbled and kind of freaking her out right now. Right, the last thing she remembers is she was with James.
Mhm.
That's all she knows. She's just sitting there.
Okay. You just
no.
stay sitting there. Go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw, Shelly.
Okay.
Oh no.
Hey.
16. You're okay. You're having a hard time sort of sifting through things. It's like if you've ever fallen asleep at like 3 p.m. on the couch and you wake up and it's like 7 o'clock and you're like, what year is it? What's happening? Where am I? Like that's sort of the vibe in your head right now. You're having a hard time focusing. You're having a hard time sifting through. There's a lot of information in your head that you can't tell if it's like a dream, a memory, something you just thought of. You're having a hard time with it. That brings us to the crew's turns. These two up here are going to continue to stoke the flames here, as is this one back here.
My guy's not going to use his advantage on an attack roll to hit that node that's right beside him?
Oh, that's true. You did give him advantage. Okay, he feels real good about that. He's gonna run over and try and attack this knoll with an advantage. Would be a 13, but instead it's a non-natural 20. So he swings his sword. That is 6 points of damage on that knoll.
What's his name? The guy I gave advantage to, because I've been on the ship for 2 days. I feel like I know everybody's name.
The crew does. They seem to have a pretty standard uniform across all of the basic crew, which makes them difficult to tell apart. There's also seems to be this sort of like this general vibe from Ramsey of unless I have made a point to learn your name doesn't matter. You are a tool to be used, sort of vibe. So none of the regular crew have names, as far as you know.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. This crew, since there's no more gnolls with ballista, he will run over and make his attacks on that guy. Misses on the first attack, hits with the second. That is 8 points of damage on that guy. Let's see. These two will run up to these ones, make their attacks. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. This gnoll takes 8 points of damage, and this one takes 7. That is the end of the crew's turns. Back at the top, Roddy. What you doing?
This dude that's down below. who
Yes.
Hit the sand.
Yeah.
What's he trying to do?
He is currently just like laying on the ground, and he lost his turn because he got like all the air knocked out of him. So he's just sort of laying there. It looks like he's about to start trying to get back up to start climbing again.
Awesome. Then I'm not going to worry about him. I'm going to cross the ship to the other side to hit that guy in the corner that looks like he's close by Nori, but isn't because Nori's below deck.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go at him with my short sword attack.
Okay.
Do
Here,
rogues
I can adjust these.
do rogues
so
get
they're-
extra attack at 5th level?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
That's lame. All right.
But your sneak attack damage might have gone up.
It's 3d6 now, but he's not. That wasn't the sneak attack.
Nice.
I just sort of charged at him. Does an 11 hit?
An 11 on the knoll. Ooh, so here's the thing. He is prone, which technically means you get disadvantage on ranged attacks.
But this is a melee attack.
Oh, you're jumping down onto the ground with him?
Oh, I thought he was already like coming.
No,
up the ship.
he's in the sand.
The one across on the other side.
Oh, no, him. Yes, sorry. Yeah, he is standing up. He is climbing up the ship.
All right. Can I reach him with melee?
It would be difficult to reach with melee. You can cut the rope.
Okay, I guess I'll just keep cutting ropes.
Okay. Otherwise, if you have a ranged attack, you can take the ranged attack against him.
We have not stopped into a town in so long. I have been waiting for a session to try to get more arrows. I think I'm down to 9.
Oh
I started
no.
with like 30
Yeah.
arrows.
They definitely would have ammunition on the ship, so you could have restocked your arrows.
Oh, then I'm fucking shooting this guy, dude.
Go for it.
Making conversation, taking an arrow, putting it in your thing, just, like,
Yeah.
being stealthy about it.
Ramsey doesn't have any issue with you. You are cooperating. He has no problem with you.
That's an 18 to hit. motherfucker.
18 will hit plus 10 points of damage. Beautiful. Okay. Anything
And
else,
then-
Roddy?
I would like to give Abdomenace advantage on his next attack roll.
Excellent.
And I would also, I guess that was my movement probably. Yeah, I'm chilling with that.
Okay. That brings us to Captain Ramsey. He is going to, let's see here. He's going to shout orders to this one, since that one hit successfully last time. Let's see here. Beautiful. Okay. That is 2 more points of damage on that guy, bringing him up to 10. Okay. Let's see here. Nori, you're up.
All right, so, well, I guess I'm waiting for Rad to open the cage, right? So Shelly's near me?
Shelly is 1 cage over from you.
1 cage over? Okay, I guess I'm just gonna tell Shelly, snap out of it. We have to get out of here. And then wait for Rad to open the cage. Just grab my stuff.
You'll hold
Okay.
an action.
Yeah, hold an action to, or hold, I guess, my movement to like run out upstairs.
Sure. So you're holding the holding an action to do the dash action.
Correct.
Okay. That brings us to the courier. He's going to run quickly through the room, grab more javelins, and starts running out. Sees that Rad is out of his cage, and a couple of you are like moving around and doing stuff, and he goes, "Oh, dude, I didn't even know it. Like the cages could like open like that, man. Like I thought you had to be like I thought you were stuck in there. That's freaking rad, man. And then he like catches himself. He's like,
That's my name.
dude, it's like you're rad. And then he just back up the steps, back out onto the deck.
Rad is so happy that his name is like the entire purpose of his name that he may or may not have given himself has come full circle. He's like, it can happen, and like hope is reignited in Rad's heart.
He loses his rage because he's not angsty anymore. Billy, you're up.
Scene.
I'm gonna use my dagger to do the top bar.
Okay.
In a way that when the door falls open, it does not fall on top of me.
It's like you've played with me before.
I know, I'm my own worst enemy. What do I roll?
Survival again. 14. Yeah, you managed to pop the second one. You push the door open. It sort of falls out into the center there. Brad, you were there. Yeah, it falls out into the hall here. Crashes to the ground. Loud boom.
Okay. And then, all right, so Nori's going to be opening, Rad's going to be opening Nori's door. Thrax is passed out. Shelly.
You also notice Thrax is heavily manacled.
Oh. But he's sleeping, right?
He's sleeping, yeah. His
Tired
leg
boy.
is twitching like he's chasing a rabbit.
Aw.
All right.
Oh no, Mr. Courier.
Oh no! Wait.
I need somebody to draw fan art of just sleeping Thrax with having a dream of just him as like a full-on like dog running after a rabbit, but it's Mr. Courier as just a regular rabbit. If you can draw it so it looks like Fox and the Hound, bonus points.
Do I have enough? Because I have another action. Do I have enough to like do a check on Shelly and then unlock like their door? Would a bit like in a check be a free action
On which one?
on Shelly to check to see if like she looks seething underneath their befuddled exterior?
That'd be an insight check.
Okay.
I'll
And
let
then
you-
would I be
I'll
able to
let
take
you
an
do-
action?
Your action was getting out of the cell.
Yeah.
So I'll let you do this as just part of your turn though.
18.
18. Shelly.
As far as you can tell, she truly looks just dazzled.
Dazzled. So
No.
blind. I'm just so Billy
No,
just
wow.
so enamored that they're gonna walk over and then start to open Shelly's cell. Shelly's cell.
And you're
Where?
trying to do that by popping the pins?
Can I, now that I'm in front, can I use the dagger to like pick the lock?
You can try.
Oh my goodness.
Make a survival check.
I got good survival. I got 24, baby.
24. Yeah, you stick the dagger in there. It's less that you have successfully picked the lock, and more that you've just sort of jammed the dagger in
Yeah.
there and then wrenched it open.
Yeah.
You break it open. Absolutely.
And then I look at Shelly like in the eyes. I'm like, we need you with us on this. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Let's see here. Abdomenace is going to Roddy, you gave him advantage, right?
Yes.
You watch as Abdomenace just runs and leaps off the side of the ship here.
Awesome.
And is just going to attempt to like stab both of his swords into this knoll on the way down. Let's see here.
That's so rad. I just like rad is just such
No,
a
that's
fun
Abdomenace.
word. No. It's Rad. Rad would do that.
Both of those hits. Oh boy. That is 19 points of damage to this knoll. And then I'm gonna have that knoll do a strength save to not fall off of the rope. No, he fails. So he's gonna fall and take 6 points of damage as he hits the ground, which is enough to kill him. So that is enough. He is dead as he hits the ground. And Abdomenis just sort of like puts his swords up into the air, and just you hear this like the sound that cicadas make. He just does that like screech into the air.
Hell yeah.
Oh gosh.
Thorax.
I hate him.
Is going to run over to the side here and throw one of his hand axes down.
I mean, they are
that guy.
terrifying.
And misses. Thorax is having a bad day.
Next time.
This guy is going to get up onto the side of the ship. He's going to attack that crewmate there.
Oh, not my boy.
Oh, that is unfortunate. That is enough. That crewmate goes down.
Ooh.
The crew are not super hardy. This one gets up. He's going to attack that one. That hits.
No.
Oh, that one's down too.
Oh no!
This
Do they
one
have
is
pack tactics?
this one is
Is it a
on
pack
the
tactics
the ship. He's going to go over to this one.
Yikes! I got
Uh,
surrounded.
hits, but it's only 3 points of damage, so he's still alive. Unfortunately, this one gets up there.
No.
Gets his attack.
No.
Also hits.
You suck, Hunter.
Only 4 points of damage though, so that guy is up to 7. This guy uses his whole turn to get up onto the ship. That one is going to get up and attack this guy. That is a nat 1.
Good.
Deck of blunders.
Yeah.
His arthritis starts acting up. He suffers a -1 penalty to dice rolls for the rest of the encounter.
Nice.
Okay. That brings us to this one. He gets up there and misses. So, Rad. That brings us to you, sir.
Okay. Okay, first, the colored lights for Rad, it's actually kind of a like tendrily red mist.
Uh-huh.
It's just around him.
Love that.
That kind of as he's close to Nori, like these misty tendrils sort of reach out a little bit, and that's what gives Nori the bonus, but it's also sort of like they're just trying to reach for people.
Uh-huh.
Creepy but helpful. Yeah. And Rad is going to just sort of toss the keys to Nori, like just hand them to Nori, and then pick up the jail cell door that he ripped off and just go running above deck.
Oh, nice.
Do you toss or do you hand the keys?
No, he said toss. He
Yeah.
said
He's one of
toss.
those like
Yeah,
Nori
Nori's
is
good
like
with
a
moving objects.
foot
He's good with
from him?
moving objects.
yeah, Nori is
Yeah.
like a foot from him, and he's like, okay, your hand is close enough. I'm gonna toss them so that they land in your hands, kind of
Yeah.
toss, not like a
Nori, make a
just
deck
chuck
save.
them at you.
Nice. I believe in myself, okay? Deck save.
Deck save.
Save.
13, you're fine.
I fumble like for a second.
Rips it.
Yeah, it sort of just hits your chest and then falls into your hands. Rad, you burst out onto the deck holding a giant jail cell door.
That calls for an intimidation check.
What are you doing with it, Rad?
100% going for this guy,
Absolutely.
running full speed. What do we call that? Like that can be like a D8 worth of damage, right?
Sure. Yeah, I'll let it D8. It's an improvised weapon, so you don't have proficiency in it.
Oh, okay. Well, then subtract 3 from that. So that's a
15. That is the armor class, so that hits.
okay. So that's 12 points of damage on that bad boy.
Beautiful.
As I just slam it down on him, it's like, no, doggy, bad doggy.
There's just a howl of pain. That brings us to.
Oh wait.
Oh.
I get 2 attacks.
You do. Yes. We have reached that point of the in leveling.
So I slam it down on him.
Uh huh.
And then kind of like flip it up in my hands and do, like a tennis or for the younger kids pickleball swing at him to, if possible, knock him off the ship.
Sure.
But that's going to be a 12.
Okay.
Without my proficiency.
You have 2 points of inspiration if you want to use one of them.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do that. So
Okay.
let me what is that? So that's really just a strength check to hit. There we go.
Okay.
19
yeah,
for another
that'll
13
hit
points
for
of
another
damage.
13 points, which is enough. So he is dead.
Okay. So yeah.
His body just flops ragdoll style over the bench there. Anything else?
I don't think I have anything bonus action wise, so probably not. No.
Okay. Shelly, you're up.
Okay. I am free to go. And Billy's in front of me, right?
Please don't murder Billy.
Billy is in front of you.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Billy just pummels Billy's face.
No, please. I've got a halberd for that. And so Shelly's gonna slowly stand up. Pretty much the only thing she really knows and trusts in this moment right now is that weapon of hers. It's been through a lot. They've both been through a lot together. Which is a very weird thing for her to think, because as far as she knew before, she'd only been around for about a year. So everything's really swirling, but hand on the weapon, target needed. So she's gonna go up to Billy and just say, who do I need to bring in?
Billy hasn't been outside yet, so I don't really know what we're fighting. And so I'm just gonna look, and I'm gonna just say, I need you to find Roddy and make sure they're okay, because I still don't know where Roddy is.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
Kicking ass and taking names, baby.
Okay. And she's gonna turn and just march up the stairs.
Okay.
So looking around, I guess, would I be able to see Roddy right away since he's
Make a perception check, because he's actually a floor above and behind you.
Can I have advantage on this, because Roddy's definitely shouting at the top of his voice?
Yes, you have advantage on the check.
We hear these cries down below, and we're thinking
because Roddy is hanging from the side of the ship, yelling like "Avast ye scurvy dogs!"
That's so good.
okay.
18, yeah, you know exactly where Roddy is.
Okay, great. Is that knoll next to him still is that knoll
It
up
is.
on
It is
deck
up
yet?
on the side of the ship.
Okay. Well then, target locked on. We're gonna keep Roddy safe.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try and get there. Is that all of my movements? I
That
still
would
have
be
a
your
couple
movement.
actions?
You would still have your action if you want to take it.
Sweet. Yeah. Let's make some dog meat.
Oh dear.
Go for it. Let's see it happen.
We're just gonna do standard, good old-fashioned smash.
Okay.
right now. Oh, wait, yeah. Ugh.
A 10 will miss, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
all right, that's okay, that's okay. We do it, we go again. See what happens this time.
That's a nat 20.
Yeah.
That will hit.
That's definitely gonna hit.
Let's see here. Oh man. You rip something open in him with this attack. You see it. He's just starting like spitting up bile. He has a permanent -2 to his armor class as he is having a hard time defending himself.
Okay.
Fuck that bitch.
Oh man.
But he's not down yet, right?
What was the damage?
Should just be 12.
12 points. So with 12 points, that is actually, he has 22 hit points. So with the 10 he's already taken, that is enough.
Okay.
So he starts like coughing up bile, and then just falls into the sand, still coughing a little bit. Oh man.
Fist bump from Roddy.
Down
Okay.
to Dusty Jones' locker.
Dusty Jones.
And yeah, I'm just gonna look at Roddy and ask him if he's safe.
Oh, I'm chilling. Fist bump.
Okay. Anything else, Shelly?
That's all.
Okay. That brings us to the crew's turn.
I appreciate the backup.
Let's see here. This crew member is going to run up here and try and fight off this gnoll, as is the one that's on the other side of him. Oh, they're both horrible. They both miss. This one down here is going to take his attack. Oh no. These crew are bad at their jobs.
Love that.
Every crew member fails.
Well, I mean, they don't have names. They're obviously expendable.
Yeah, they're
right?
all. I should have put them all in red shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
What
Uh,
it sounds like to me is there are some job opportunities on this boat.
It's a
That's
growth
right.
market.
Yeah.
Roddy, you're up.
Oh, Roddy's up again? Alright, awesome. So this guy just died. I am going to... If an ally is down, does that still grant me sneak attack? It doesn't say that they have to be unconscious.
Which ally? Who are you looking at?
The crew member who's up top.
Oh, this one? Yes, you do. He's not unconscious. He's being eaten by a gnoll.
So that
Currently
would grant
getting
me sneak
devoured.
attack.
No, it would not. This one down here, though, you would get sneak attack from thorax.
Dang. Okay. What's the movement? How much movement is it across that way?
Oh, you can get there, no problem.
Alright, sweet. Yeah, I'd like to do that, and I'd like to come at him with my sword.
Okay.
Action.
You could also shoot him from where you're at over here if you wanted.
Yes, but then I would also like to use my bonus action to hit him with my horns and try to knock him off.
There you go.
Oh.
So first sword to weaken him. Does a 25 hit?
A 25 definitely hits.
Awesome.
8 points of
that-
damage.
That's also going to be 3d6. So that's
12
another
more. That is enough with just the sword. He is solidly focused on thorax, and then your sword just comes through from the other side somewhere.
Nice. And then in that case, instead for my bonus action, I will give thorax advantage again. Fist bump him.
Okay.
I believe in thorax. He will make a comeback.
Is that the end of your turn?
I imagine it's the hand that has like the fake pirate hook, and you
Yep.
fist bump.
Ow! Ooh! Ow!
Clink. Here's-
Okay. End of your turn, Roddy? That brings us to Captain Ramsey. Captain Ramsey is tired of them not doing a good job, so he's going to enter the fray. He will take his 2 attacks on this knoll. Hits with both of them. That is 28 points of damage, which is enough. That one is down. And he just continues to walk down the steps, like does not break stride as he walks past that first knoll, just with his blades, just chops the head from the shoulders of this knoll that topples to the ground, just keeps walking down the steps towards the other one. Nori, you're up.
You're muted.
Shit. Well, I guess I as soon as
Dang it, now we lost the child-friendly label.
So when Rad let me out, I would have dashed up onto the deck.
He
Okay.
threw the keys at you.
Oh, he threw the keys at me. Never mind. I'm gonna.
He didn't take the time to unlock your cell.
I'm gonna unlock my own cell.
Because it would be a whole action, and then I couldn't.
I
Go
love
help the
the
fight.
concept. I love the concept of Rad tossing the keys through the bars, and you take that to mean there isn't a door there, and just go to run up and just crash into a door.
He's not really good with inanimate
Stationary,
objects,
yeah.
so,
It's like
to
a
be
it's like a
fair,
Jurassic Park T-Rex.
He went to push the door open and it was not open, so he's gonna try to unlock the cage himself.
Absolutely, you have no problem unlocking it, but it is an action to do so.
Great. I'm just gonna use the rest of my movement to get to like the top of the stairs, so right
Okay.
behind the doors just so I can like kind of peek my head out.
Absolutely.
The doors to the deck.
The doors are wide open right now.
Oh, perfect.
Because Rad
Let's
did
walk through.
leave a Rad-sized hole as he hit them full force.
Excellent. Do I still have a sec? I don't have 2 actions though. I have.
You don't have 2 actions, you have 2
got
attacks
it.
if you take the
Okay.
attack action.
Okay, perfect. So I guess I have no action. I'm
Billy.
gonna stand there and look pretty, because that's all I'm good at.
I mean, Nori's very pretty.
Billy, you're up.
Canonically, mega super hot.
Alright, so I'm gonna walk or run out. I have 25 feet.
You can get to the top of the stairs.
Okay, go to the top of the stairs. And then So I guess that red knoll, I'm gonna take the dagger that I'm holding and throw it.
This one down here.
Uh,
The red ones are dead.
oh, the red ones are dead? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Then the one between Rad and
This one?
Ramsey.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Let me. Where's the attacks? It's been a while since I've been able to do literally. Attack. It's great. Dagger. 12.
Okay. A 12 will miss. However, we can reveal as you throw it. You do have one hand.
Yeah.
That hand was not taken.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I jimmied up with that. I know. I woke up. First thing that Billy did when they woke up was like, thank God.
They look at the stuff. Ah!
Yeah. Then look at my. Oh no! Wait, no. This one was always gone. Oh my God. Okay, we're good.
You throw a dagger at that knoll. It just flies over his head,
Okay.
disappearing into the sand.
And then I'm just gonna grab another one, and I'm gonna grab a hand axe and throw that.
Okay.
Thinking maybe that will.
18 hits. 8 points of damage. That brings us up to 16 on that one. Beautiful. Anything else?
Did my actions like I'm gonna notice that so that one doesn't drop. It's still alive.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna notice Ramsey right next to him and like stop breathing for probably until my next turn starts.
Okay. That brings us to Abdomenis, who's going to use his whole turn to climb back up onto the ship, just covered in Knoll blood. Thorax is going to charge this one and make his attacks. He has advantage on it because of Roddy. It gives him a nat 20. Let's see here.
Oh my god.
I knew that was coming. That's my boy right there.
Oh my goodness. You're let's see here. Oh no, if your attack. Okay. It does not fall under that.
Oh shoot! I should have done favored foe. I'm an idiot.
Okay. Some of these have like, if your attack does this, then you do this thing. I need to shuffle these cards better, I think. The enemy is knocked off guard, giving you a chance to better observe your surroundings. You gain advantage on attack rolls until the end of your next turn. So he also has advantage next round. Let's see here. That damage is 12 points on that guy, who has not taken any damage yet, so he's still at full health. Second attack is also a hit. And 11 points. That's 23. That's enough. That one is dead. That brings us to the Knoll's turns. Let's see here. Who's still up? This one up here. This one is going to go after Roddy.
I dare you.
Dare accepted.
Coming for you, motherfucker.
That is a.
I thought you said Derek accepted. It was like
Derek
the Knoll's
accepted.
name is Derek.
Hello, my name is Derek accepted. 21 to hit with the second attack.
Does my nat 20 plus 10 AC still carry over, or was that just
It was only
that
for the one round, yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
AC
You can
for-
do that thing we talked about that you can do now.
Oh, I can do an uncanny dodge.
Mm.
Fifth level
You can.
ability. Half
Okay.
damage, baby.
Yeah, so that would be 7 points of damage, but instead you have it. So 3 points instead. Okay. That brings us to this Knoll up here, who's going to attack the crew member. Because he hasn't noticed Ramsey yet. That crew member is dead.
Oh god.
Jeez.
That Knoll up there is going to attack the crew member on its left. Misses both of its attacks, though. That brings us to Rad.
I'm going to. I'm going to take the prison door and just chuck it at that Knoll and try to just sort of like hit him and just send him flying off the side of the ship.
Absolutely. If you fail this roll, there is a chance you hit Ramsey.
Oh.
Billy's okay with that.
Awesome.
High risk, high reward.
Okay.
I see no downside to this plan.
I'll just make a straight strength check just to check.
Absolutely.
Oh.
That's a 19. Yeah, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. Let's see. I'll do this just to get damage. 14.
14 points is enough. That guy is dead and tossed overboard into the sands below. Ramsey looks a little impressed, but also a little annoyed that you took his kill. Anything else, Rad? I will say, I'm gonna say the prison door was embedded in his chest, and has also gone overboard.
Oh yeah, 100%. Just he was as hard as he could.
Yeah.
I will.
You see this one up here.
Yeah.
That's the only one you would see.
Rad's finally going to like just look around at his surroundings
Mhm.
and just get this horrified look on his face, like, I've never been on the ocean before. Where am I? I don't know how to swim.
Oh,
You know it's a ship, but you don't know what the ocean looks like, so you just accept that you're on the ocean.
It's called the Dune Sea.
Yeah,
It
that's
is the
fair.
ocean.
That's fair.
So he's gonna kind of drop down onto all fours, just like terrified that at any moment he's just gonna slide right off the side of the ship.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on a ship connects to the ocean, and the ocean connects to the edge of the world, then you could just fall off.
Yeah.
The
We could
elephants are not
definitely
going to catch you.
Take one of these
Yeah.
gnolls alive, because this is
Just
the
bump
second
off the edge
time
of the
that
turtle.
they've come to attack us. So if we could not murder
that's
all of them.
That's a great idea that you could relay to other people.
Yeah.
Shelly,
Non-lethal.
speaking of other people that haven't had this relayed to them, Shelly, your turn.
Did not. I was told to
Take him out.
protect.
Yeah, you were told to protect Roddy, and there's a
Yeah,
gnoll trying to
protecting
eat
Roddy.
Roddy.
Yeah, so I'm going to that knoll with direct stop,
I appreciate it.
and we're swinging. We're just swinging on this
Yeah.
boy. Give him the old smash-a-rooney.
16 hits, that's 6
The
points of
old
damage on him.
razzle-dazzle.
The old razzle dazzle.
The old, and I'm gonna go ahead
Dazzle.
and flip it.
Or for Shelly, it's the old razzle dazzled.
Razzle dazzle.
The dazzled razzle.
That definitely is.
7 more points.
That's a tavern
13.
name if I ever heard
Oh my
one.
god, amazing.
And since we have another action, let's go ahead and try that again.
Yeah.
Think that'll
16
hit?
hits, 12 more points. That is enough. That one is dead. Roddy, you're splattered in blood as this giant glaive blade just comes up through the chest of this thing.
Shelly, with is the flip it and reverse it? Is that a bonus action?
That's right.
Yeah, with Polearm Master, you get a bonus action of an extra attack with the blunt end of the polearm.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Shelly?
I'm gonna look at Roddy and I'm like, you stay safe. You're safe.
Thank you. I
Okay.
was gonna tip the tri-corner hat. Ahoy!
Yeah.
Other side.
Okay. So, there is one gnoll left alive. There are 2 guards who are on it, who are going to make 2 attacks each on this gnoll.
I literally got to attack.
It has currently.
Nothing!
It is.
Got out of a cage!
It is currently. It currently has 10 hit points, which means between the 4 attacks that these guards will have, they need a total of 12 to
Really
kill
just
it.
yelled out non-lethal damage.
First attack is a miss. Second attack is a miss.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
this might happen.
Third attack is a hit. Fourth attack is a miss. Okay. So that is 4 points of damage. That one is still alive. Oh, there is this guard though. This guard's gonna run over and attack it. Misses with the first attack, hits with the second. 6 more points. That is
so
20 points that it has right now. It needs 2 points of damage to die. That is all of them. That is the end of their turn. That brings us to Roddy's turn.
You're so far away.
Can I? No, it's a bonus action. Can I? Okay, wait. Let me use my movement.
Uh-huh.
Action dash bonus action horned attack. Oh, actually, I think I can only do the bonus action horn attack if I use.
He is
A melee
80
attack.
feet away from you.
Then
You
I
could hit
can't
him.
do
You
it.
can hit him with range.
Yeah, but you can't do non-lethal damage.
No, you cannot.
Attack. So I'm just gonna run towards him. I'll just get 60 feet there. I'll be
Okay.
like, keep him alive.
Okay. You can actually get all the way up into melee if you want to use your full turn, because you can dash as a bonus action as a rogue.
Yeah, but then he can hit me.
It's true.
Actually,
much
you know
health
what?
do you
I'll
have
do
right
it.
now?
I have a lot of hit points. I've only taken one attack. I have a full 19 hit points.
Oh
So
my god.
There's no way that is correct.
I have rolled. I think.
Oh, you're rolling for your hit points. Okay.
I'm rolling. for my
I
hit points.
respect it.
He rolled 2 1s
Yeah.
for level 5.
Yeah, I respect that.
And that wasn't the first time that I got a 1. I have rolled. I think I've rolled a 1 for 2 different levels, and I rolled like a 3 for another one. Having a
Roddy,
0
no.
Constitution modifier sucks.
Roddy, you yelled to keep him alive, yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Make a persuasion check.
Do I get disadvantage because I've been annoying by yelling port and starboard every single turn?
You're not persuading the crew. You are persuading Ramsey.
I got a 20.
Oh.
20. Okay. End of your turn, Roddy. That brings us to Ramsey's turn. Ramsey sort of tilts his head at you, walks back up to this scarab up here and stands in the middle of it, where he has a nice elevated view of the ship.
Superior to complex head ass.
looks over at the knoll, and just sort of nods, makes a motion, and he will use his turn to issue a command to his crew, which is just going to be stand down. So his crew will not attack it. Nori, you're up. You want to kill him? You want to kill this last one?
So to be fair, Nori's probably too disoriented. There's a lot of people on this ship.
There are.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
no.
that to be like, do I want to expend an enhancement slot for this? Absolutely not. He's just gonna hang out by the door and wait to see how it pans out, because Roddy did tell them not to kill this guy. So Just gonna-
Okay.
chill.
Okay. You just chill. Billy.
All right. So
Kill him.
So everyone's down. Does I guess how tall are gnolls are super big. It'd be stupid for me to grapple it.
Be fun to watch though.
I mean, yeah. How
It's
far
like when a
away?
kid grabs onto your leg and you just keep
Yeah.
walking.
Oh yeah. How far away am I?
From the knoll?
Yeah.
40 feet.
Dang it. Can I non-lethally throw an axe at it?
No.
Okay. What do I? And you said it's got like 2 points of damage left. Can I like run and then like dash into its legs to make him fall down?
It would be difficult to get up to him. Both Roddy and one of the guards are sort of on the stairs blocking him.
Okay.
He is
Oh,
thoroughly
no.
surrounded right now.
I'll jump so Billy can slide underneath me.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
If you just go,
I-
if you just start
Billy,
running, go,
I-
body jump. He'll
Billy,
jump.
I will tell you this right now. If you do this, it is a strength contest between you and the knoll.
My strength.
You got good strength. I believe in you.
My strength is +2.
Okay.
Better than mine.
You
Yeah.
could try it.
All right, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. You gotta yell, Roddy, jump.
Alright, I'm not gonna re-roll it because that's literally my second nat 1. So I'm just gonna let it ride. I have to. I can't.
Billy runs up the stairs. Roddy, you leap into the air to allow Billy to try and do the horn charge that you didn't do. And Billy is going to dive through the air and just off the side of the ship.
No. I'm gonna use Waffle. I'm gonna have Waffles come after me.
Oh.
You see Waffles just jumps off the side of the ship.
No, chickens can't swim.
Noelle, you are small.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it's not a terribly far drop. I'm going to roll this nifty little die that was given to me by a good friend of mine named Noelle that just says yes or no on it. And this is going to determine if you take damage. No, you do not. You hit the sail and just sort of like slide down it to the ground. That brings us to the only remaining Knoll, who is going to, let's see, which of them does he want? Yeah, he's going to attack one of the guards. That hits.
This is the Knoll
As
attack people
does
still?
that. This guard is dead.
Oh my god.
But that is the end of the Knoll's turns because there's not many of them left. Rad, you're up.
I'm like I see Billy just go flying off the edge of the ship, and then a chicken go flapping after them, and I'm gonna go, oh jeez, I hope this works, and just like run and like, is there a rope or something near the edge of the ship that I can grab?
Oh my
Nice.
goodness, yes,
Nice.
absolutely there is.
Okay, I'm gonna grab it and just hang on as tight as I can, and then just full on dive after Billy. Like I'm ready to hit the water and just like get to swimming his best, doggy paddle, I guess, for
Water.
Rad, because he doesn't know how to swim very well.
Make an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics?
I want you. Yeah, this is absolutely acrobatics. I'm gonna dive off the ship and grab a rope and swing on it. Yeah,
Not swinging. I'm holding the rope so I can hit the
yeah, absolutely.
water and swim. That's a 6.
That's a 6. I'm gonna roll this nifty little die that was given to me by my friend Noelle that says yes or no to determine if you land on top of Billy. You do.
No.
So
I've never felt closer to you, Red.
Rad, you take 11 points of damage. You are raging. It is bludgeoning, so it is
no,
halved.
I'm not, because last.
Oh, that's true.
Oh no, I am.
No, you did
I
take.
am.
You made an attack. Yeah.
It ends at the end of this turn.
Yeah. So you hit the ground. You take 11 points of damage. That is
Oh my
halved. So you only take 5. But you do land on Billy, so they also take half of your fall damage, which is going to be 5 points of damage to Billy as you land on top of them.
Don't worry, Billy, I got you. And I'm gonna grab
You're
Billy
just
and
swimming
start,
in the sand.
pulling myself
Oh my
up
God.
the rope,
Yeah.
kicking my legs in the sand.
Oh my goodness.
Nori's definitely getting more and more nauseous as this goes on because he just hears people going off the ship. People are running everywhere.
You have no idea what is happening, Nori.
Absolutely not.
This does not play well with your whole perception of reality. Shelly, that brings us to you.
It does. And Roddy's over there.
Oh my
Like,
god.
you would know. So.
Oh.
You heard him, right?
You
Here's the question. Yeah, did I hear Roddy say that?
make a perception check.
Yeah.
And then make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Oh lord.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
16. You did hear it.
Yeah.
The question is 13. I leave it up to you. Does the order that you heard yelled from Roddy, which was leave it alive, override the original order you were given by Billy, which is keep Roddy safe?
Yeah.
Because Roddy is next to a thing that just killed another thing that is next to him.
Yeah.
I leave it to you. That is your call.
Okay. Well, either way, I'll be using a full action to get over there, right? Because it's all of my movement, and
What's your movement speed?
it is 30.
Yes, it would be actually your full action and movement to get to the bottom of the stairs here.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Long ships.
So I couldn't even get into melee with this guy anyway.
Melee, no.
Okay. What if I use my action surge?
Shelly, no.
I mean, you could still only use it to move.
No,
True.
action surge is. I mean, yeah, you would. Oh, actually,
But then wouldn't
though,
I just use both of my normal actions to just dash, and then the action surge to do something in melee?
So here's the thing. You're at the bottom of the stairs.
Okay.
Noel is at the top of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You have a pole arm,
Oh,
which means
that's
you
right.
do have reach.
That's right.
So you could attack him if you wanted to, if you expend your action surge. The question is, would you?
I think Roddy's saying that is enough.
Okay.
With those rolls, I think it's enough. I think if she attacked with the halberd, it would be with the blunt side only, and she
Sure.
just attempted.
You could oh, somebody left the Zoom call, and ruined everything. You could do that. It would just be it'd be an action surge, and then roll for blunt damage, which would be non-lethal. You're trying to knock him out.
Yeah. Because it took both of my actions to move over here.
Yeah, you would have. So, oh, actually, no. Polearm Master. The bonus action attack is just if you made the attack action, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that you wouldn't be able to do that unless you action surge. But if you action surge, you could non-lethal because it's a melee attack. Oh, Elliot, you ruined everything.
Sorry.
Are you?
No.
It's all good. Up to you, Mel. What you want to do?
Yeah, I'll go for it, and I'll just do my normal attack roll, and then we can figure out the bludgeoning damage differently.
Okay.
Let's try. And bludgeoning would just be was it D4? Or wait, does 13 hit?
13 does not.
No, 13 does not. You have a point of inspiration if you want to use
at
it.
that point of inspiration. Oh.
Do it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Okay.
Okay. Well.
That's a nat 20.
Yeah!
But it's bludgeoning and it's non-lethal
It
on that
is-
20.
it is a non-lethal nat
Non-lethal
20.
nat 20.
Okay. Yeah,
And,
this guy is super unconscious.
Okay, do you want me to roll a d4 for bludgeoning?
No, he has
Okay.
he currently only has 2 hit points left.
Okay.
So any amount of bludgeoning, especially with a nat 20, is going to knock him to the ground.
Fantastic.
Oh boy.
Oh, so you still get a nat 20 card?
Yes. Let's see here. If your attack.
This is what makes him die.
He's gonna just die.
You knock a coin purse off of him. You have 10,000 gold.
Ooh.
Your attack is truly vicious.
Oh,
no.
Roll each die of your attack twice and add the results.
Uh-oh.
But it's fine because it's
Okay.
non-lethal. You're knocking him unconscious.
Great.
Okay. He is knocked down. That takes us out of initiative. Oop, wrong thing.
Oh.
This one.
Not this again. Don't put me back in the green sauce, Santa.
Okay. So, you guys are out of initiative.
Are Billy and Rad and Waffles back on the ship?
You guys look over the side of the ship and you see Rad desperately trying to swim through the sand, with Billy under one arm trying to get them back on the ship. Waffles is just sort of sitting on top of Rad's head, pecking at him, and Rad is just screaming that he's gonna save Billy.
Oh my goodness.
Can I try to like pull up the rope that Rad has and try to get him overboard? Or like on board?
I
They're
think
already
I'll-
over.
Make an athletics check. If Shelly's helping, you have advantage on it.
You said athletics?
Yes.
Not acrobatics.
Not acrobatics.
Maybe I should do it and you
Yeah,
should help.
Shelly, let me give you advantage on this one.
Shelly helps by taking over the process.
Exactly.
Nice.
Billy, just look out for sharks, okay?
Oh my God. Not the land shark.
I don't
There
know
are
what
no
they
s-
look like, but I hear they're horrifying.
We're in the dunes.
All Rad heard when you yelled "We're in the dunes" is that we're all doomed. Okay. So, you guys managed to get back up onto the ship. Captain Ramsey just sort of looks over at all of you and goes, "Well, my friends, well done."
Thank you. Couldn't have been without your help.
Looks over at Thorax and says, "My friend, be so kind as to throw the bodies overboard." And Thorax will immediately begin throwing the bodies of all of the dead gnolls and all of the dead crew just over the side of the ship as the ship keeps sailing through the Dune Sea here.
Damn.
Could I do a medicine check on the knoll I knocked
Sure.
out?
Yeah, make a medicine check. You're fairly certain that this is a gnoll.
Okay, great.
Um,
Nothing else unusual.
The scientific term is big ol' doggo, according to your 9 medicine check.
Yeah.
Rad's just gonna kind of shake himself off. This is the weirdest water I've ever seen. So this is like how the whole ocean is?
We're in the desert right now, in the Dune Sea. There's no water here.
Billy just goes behind Rad after getting put down and just looks around. Is it so? It's just we're just on like. Do I see like Catechus at all?
You do not. You can see the mountains in the distance to
Okay.
the south.
Interesting. Okay.
Billy, should we take this one and go back into jail?
come over here. Like,
Team huddle.
You Ramsey, excuse me.
yeah, like you come over with the body.
I do. I just.
Okay.
The knoll is over the shoulder at this point, and I come over to Billy.
All right, Shelly. It's been a real weird. We'd never want to go to prison. That's going into jail is the opposite of what we want to do here. So
But we
make
keep
it a point.
doing it.
I know it's real. I don't. That's not. Jail is bad. I know Thrax really likes to get to that winner's prison, but that's not a thing.
I mean, as
Also-
long as we're in it, it's winner's prison, right?
It's a prison for winners.
Absolutely.
to have you back, Shelly. How are you? Are you okay? You could put this body down.
What do you mean, am I okay? I mean, the last thing I remember is I was hanging out with my dad.
Your dad?
Yeah.
An awkward silence falls over the room.
I was screaming. It was just muted.
God
Shelly, I
damn.
think your dad did something. I don't think this is the best time to talk. We're gonna put a pin in this conversation.
Okay.
I'm glad you're doing good. I need you to stand between me and Ramsey. That would be
Okay.
great.
As you are saying that to Shelly, the imposing shadow of Captain Ramsey falls over you and says, "Why are you hiding, my little friend?"
I'm definitely gonna immediately stand between
Yeah.
Billy
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
Ramsey.
Yeah.
You follow orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Billy definitely does that thing in like cartoons when like somebody lurks from behind and then like the entire body just like shivers. I'm like, ugh. And they're gonna turn to Ramsey and like kind of like try to like give like an input like a glare like peeking around Shelly and just be like, friends, is that what we are?
He puts a hand on his chest, mocking indignation, and says, "You wound me, my friend. I have nothing but the highest regard for someone so foolish as to return to the gardens."
That was not by choice. You know, I told you.
Indeed, I heard. So you killed someone you shouldn't.
Billy's not going to tell him it's an accident.
That's good. That's good. Keep that to yourself.
Yep.
It was a whoopsie murder.
Yeah, oopsie. And they're gonna say, you know, I'm gonna do what I need to do. So thank you for your help in getting us out of the gardens.
He gives you a very large, toothy grin, and says, "My friend, you should know, I never do anything for free. Luckily, your companion has already negotiated the deal."
Oh no.
It's just like
Roddy's like, I got this, guys.
Roddy's just like doing Fortnite emotes right behind you.
Ronnie's just standing there doing like a little like
There's one of the knoll bodies that they haven't dumped overboard, and he's just like teabagging like over and over.
he's T-posing. He's just standing.
Posing in pirate cosplay.
Yeah.
Hearing that Roddy made a deal, Billy's gonna actually move around Shelly and like kind of give like Ramsey a shove and say, "What did you do?"
Well,
You shove Ramsey?
Yeah, Billy's, cause it's been a long week for Billy.
Uh-huh.
So
Ramsey takes a step back, looks down at you. Make an insight check.
Oh my god.
Better lose that other hand, dude.
do I have?
You have
Do
a
you
point
have
if you want to use it.
Okay, 6.
16. You see he is composed, but there's a momentary flash of rage the moment you push him, and you're like, you get that one.
Yeah. Billy kind of like.
You
Fine.
you immediately have the feeling of like, I've overstepped.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen. It's been. We appreciate your help. It's been a long. You know my family. They're not. And Billy's gonna pause and then just kind of like look at Ramsey, be like, how well do you know my family?
I make it my business to know anyone who believes they have power. I know your family well. Some more than I would like. Some of you keep making your problems mine.
Fair. Billy's very caught up on his use of power. He's gonna look at Roddy. Roddy has all of his limbs as he's making his okay.
As I'm dancing.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows your family as well as cousin absorbing Thrax.
Like Billy reaches up and just like, Shelly. Shh. I feel like we should have this conversation away from so many ears. I'm interested in your thoughts about my family's powers, emphasizing the word powers.
He cocks his head a little bit at you and says, indeed. Gather your looks over at your party. Your crew. Let's talk. And he will walk back through these doors back here into his office.
Nori's like stumbled to the edge of the boat at this point, and he's like puking over the side of the boat.
Billy's gonna like, as soon as Ramsey's like out of sight, Billy's gonna run over to Roddy and be like, just grab like his hand and then like just pat his body down and be like, "Are you okay? Did he take anything from you? Do you still have all your fingers and toes?"
Yeah, I'm
Like,
chilling.
Roddy looks down at his feet and realizes he's never had toes.
Yeah.
Oh no! No!
Roddy starts crying.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
He took all my toes, Billy. He took all my. Oh, actually, no.
He took my toes before I even knew them.
My firstborn toes!
Roddy, this is serious. Ramsey's not to be trusted. Like, I'm trying to be quiet while also not like
I get
panicking, because
that.
then remembering you don't have toes.
The other option, if we didn't, so I signed us up for a mystery job. I know, I understand I may have overstepped using like power of attorney or whatever. The other option was certain death. I feel like I made the right decision.
Nope. Billy's gonna just hug Roddy and just be like, whisper, like, "I'm glad you're okay," in your ear. As
Yeah, no, I'm chilling.
also, Waffles is back. And like Waffles just comes and flies onto your head.
Waffles with the we got the bandana.
Do you know what you call a You know what you call waffles on a pirate ship?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Buccaneer.
Oh my god.
All right, I'm signing off. It's been a good fun, guys.
Everybody, good night.
Good game. Good game.
Rad throws himself into the ocean.
Not the Dune Sea.
The
He
o-
jumps all
Rad-
the way to the
Oh man, Rad's the first person to drown in the desert.
Yeah, Rad's gonna go over to Nori and just be like, "Oh, I know. Never been on the ocean, have you? Me neither. We're not all built to be on the water."
No, I mean it's been a while. I did this.
He says
once
to the
before, it was
Dolomara.
awful.
To the literal like sea elf.
Yeah. Oh man.
Just like gonna hold on to Rad and let him guide me around the ship. Be like, I don't know where we're going.
I'm still
There's so many
Rad's kind of like
people.
stumbling back and forth like this a little bit.
Oh my
Mhm.
So you're both just
Are you doing that on purpose?
We're gonna have to
No.
talk to Rad.
Rad,
But also
Rad is
he doesn't
trying
need
really
to.
hard to overcompensate for the movement of the ship.
Exactly.
And it's just real bad.
Legs
Yeah.
wide, knees bent.
Walking like a sumo wrestler.
No. Legs straight, feet together.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
Zero ability to balance.
No knee bending whatsoever. Feet side by side, and all of your like compensating is just bending at the waist back and
Oh,
forth.
yeah, my weight is centered somewhere around here.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna pick my knife, the stuff that I threw. I'm gonna pick it up on my way.
The axe is available for you to pick up because that hit
Okay.
square in the chest. The dagger did fly off the side of the ship.
Noted.
And the ship was moving throughout that whole interaction,
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's somewhere in the desert behind you. You're welcome to go try and find him.
I'm good. I'm
Besides,
just
the
gonna go.
knife would have just sunk to the bottom.
I'm gonna go to Ramsey and just make sure I'm not the first one to walk in, and I walk in with other people.
Okay.
I don't want to be alone with that man.
Everybody following Billy into the office?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys head into Ramsey's office. You guys walk in. You situate yourselves. There's some chairs in there. Ramsey is sitting at his desk on the other side, just sort of looking out a window that looks like out across the sand behind the ship. Turns as you walks in and says, "Tell me, my friends, what do you know of the mines of Torbasa?"
Oh, I did a dig there once. I had to write a sort of like a paper on it. I met one of the few of the people in the mines there. Seemed like the whatever the equivalent of OSHA is in this world. The violations off the charts.
One way to put it, yeah.
Billy's just gonna like awkwardly look at Nori because they know of their connection to the Tabarasi family.
I mean, I'm not keen to go back there yet.
We're going there right now.
Excuse me?
From what I'm guessing, we're heading northeast. That's sort of the only thing there, unless we want to go around the mountains and then go to uncharted map area.
So we're going back to prison again?
The Trapasa family is not. I like look at Ramsey. I'm like, the Trapasa family is not happy with us.
I'm aware.
Quick question.
It was my understanding there was nothing that could be done to repair that interaction. So why try to repair? They
I
can't
just gonna
hate
step
you
up and high
more.
five Shelly.
He looks at you, Shelly. You have a question.
Does a mine correlate well with a cave?
Yes.
There are similarities.
So, what exactly does a pirate want with the mines of Torbasa?
The mines themselves, nothing. There is a area near the mines. It was uncovered by their excavators. From what
Bold
I've
choice of word.
seen, I think it holds something I want.
Do you have is it like a specific artifact?
It is a necklace. Old one.
Roddy's just
He looks at Billy and he says, "What do you know of your family's powers since you asked?"
Billy's gonna like look at everybody, and then just walk up to apparently my grandmother has been keeping a few secrets from the rest of us in the family, but I don't think she was able to keep it from you. And I'm just gonna, can I like roll to see if he reacts to that?
Sure, make an
that
insight
he-
check.
$17.
I mean, you're playing towards his pride. He appreciates that.
And so, just to clarify, magic was known to be used, but hasn't been used in like over 100 years. Like 100 plus years.
Magic died.
Okay.
The arcane energies of the world were gone.
Okay.
They were sort of leached away.
Right.
What remained were people that were able to channel life force, either theirs or others, into bending that energy towards their wills. Which is why magic is so feared now, is that the only people that are capable of doing it are willing to sacrifice a lot to make it happen. And it's very dangerous to use.
But I'm gonna, you know more about this, but I think there's a lot more people with this magic, or different magics than there were. Do you know why?
He leans back in this chair behind the table, sort of looks you all over. There are stories, tales whispered on the sands. And magic is returning, leaching back into the world. Like fissures opening up.
Opening near the mines?
Perhaps. There are many. He looks directly at Shelley. And then back at you, Billy. And he says, "Your grandmother has invested a hefty amount into an individual named James Creek. He came to us first, the pirates, offered us his aid. We turned him down. So now he works for your family, studying, fronting the reefs. He turns back towards Shelley. Harnessing what he finds there to bend it towards his will.
Does this mission that you're running us on have anything to do with these rifts or arcane magics coming through?
There were many things lost when magic died. Items that were destroyed. Others locked away. I believe this is one of them.
Billy doesn't want to give him something that he could use, but Billy's in a pickle. Billy's just gonna kind of look to the group and see how they're...
I can't lie. I'm kind of excited to see what we uncover.
I mean, Roddy's already agreed to this mission, so we might as well see it through.
The wonderful thing about heading towards Torbasa is that you either do this mission for me, or I am handsomely rewarded for bringing you there. You do this for me, I'll make sure we leave undetected.
You are well known for your hospitality.
Always happy to lend a hand.
Ha ha ha. Ha ha.
Oh!
Yep. Billy just crosses their arms across their chest in an effort, because having pushed them once knows they can push their did you do anything to Thrax? Is he okay? Thrax is, last time we saw him, he was just sleeping in the, or manacled up in the...
His body is resilient. Seems to take much more toxin than the rest of you. The amount we gave him could kill an elephant.
He's not dead, right?
He's not dead.
Okay.
He'll be
He
fine.
wasn't this morning when we dosed him again.
Well, I guess we'll do this, and then we'll be square. We'll be out of each other's hair.
I doubt that's the case.
Well, I mean, the captain's word is bond.
You say out of each other's hair. You see he's just sort of leans back in the chair,
Nice.
crosses his arms, sort of looks very displeased at your choice of words.
He made that hand joke not even a second ago.
Honestly,
If you wish to split ways after you have returned the contents of this tomb, I am happy to drop you at any border of this Dune Sea. Or we continue working.
Feel like
You guys want to become pirates?
feel like
Roddy's
this
gonna
party's
shake
had
his pantaloons.
yeah has had enough dealings with the families of Catechus Gardens. And I would hate to cause any trouble for you and yours, given our penchant for prison, I guess, it's been a rough couple of weeks. Let's just stick with this one last deal, and we'll go from there. But
Indeed. He turns towards Roddy. And you are in charge of this expedition.
Or to like retrieve the actual item itself, I would say I'm probably most capable or knowledgeable, but any authority, Roddy's gonna look at Nori and be like, that's our captain. Dips the tricorner hat.
I mean, it helps that I'm from there, so at least somebody kind of knows the lay of the land.
did Ramsey know? Ramsey probably knows everything about everyone at this point.
You guys see a look across his face. You can't place it. He just seems to be eyeing you all over. And he says, "We shall be there in the next couple of days. If you need anything, my first mate can make sure you are properly equipped." Leave. He gestures towards the door.
Is his first mate? Roddy would know who his first mate is.
Oh yeah, his first mate is a gobo named Monsieur Legume.
No.
Roddy's gonna go find Monsieur Legume.
Monsieur Legume. You guys turn to leave.
Yeah, Billy's gonna just turn, like, when they get to the door, just like hang back a second for everyone else to leave, and then turn to Ramsey and just pause for a second, and then kind of like build up the courage, and just looks at him and says, "What did you end up doing with it?" It being the hand that he took.
Mm-hmm.
I guess when Billy left, Billy never wanted, but now at this point.
Yeah. He says, "I left behind one finger. Proof of life. The rest of it." And he motions to a cabinet behind him.
Ah, yes.
Where you see a small mummified hand that is missing the middle finger.
Great.
I was so hoping he was gonna like lift up a little hand with some googly eyes on it. It's like, this is Mr. Hand.
My best friend.
Billy's just gonna just turn and walk away. throw him a lift.
As you go to leave, he says, Billy, one last thing.
What?
If everybody else could remove your headphones or mute the computer.
Okay. Where's with the mute?
I can't hear shit.
Billy, he says, there is a distinct possibility there will be other things in this tomb. Things I want.
It's a shame.
If you retrieve them for me, I'll give you your hand back.
You'll give me my hand. What use is a... And Billy just looks at it. What use is a mummified hand to me, Captain Ramsey?
From my understanding, the one of Crick's you travel with is quite proficient. He reaches under his desk, pulls out a small box. Just a little metal, like 3 inches long. There's a button on it. He hands it to you.
Okay.
He says, if you hold down that button, it will allow you to issue commands to that creature. They'll blindly do whatever you say.
Her name is Shelly. Where did you... Like, Billy's gonna, like, go up to the desk and just be like, Where did you get this?
You have much indignation for something that was being carried by your crew.
By who?
That's not important.
You are the most infuriating man.
Use it if you need it. Bring me the contents.
What is it you're looking for besides this necklace?
We go way back, Billy. You'll know it if you see it.
Billy's gonna take the box, but they're not gonna like give a yes or no and just walk out.
Okay.
So, going to put...
Are we allowed to listen now?
Yep.
I really tried hard to read your lips, Hunter, and the only thing I got was blah 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 blah. Grabs a butthole and hands it to you. Blah, blah, blah.
That's
Blah,
pretty
blah,
close.
blah,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah.
I know, I had like my hands over my ears until I figured out, I'm like, oh, I can just turn the sound down. I can still hear it from my headset.
Billy, all you see is Billy storm out and go to their because I'm assuming like all of our stuff was kept in that same like hold where the cells are. Billy just goes there. You see them root in their bag for a little bit, and then they just throw themselves down on the bed.
Okay.
I think I would already be down there because I want to do a medicine check on Thrax.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Billy would probably stop at the front of the cell, like stare at the both of you, looking at very like they're gonna say something a couple times, and then just go to their bag. Like you just hear like grumbling, thrashing about, and then like they throw their bag and then throw the bag underneath their slat and throw themselves on the bed.
Billy,
Yeah.
can I ask you a question?
Sure. Billy's still like turned against the in their thing bunked facing the wall, not looking at Nori.
Where is Ramsey from? Just curious.
I mean, he is part of you're from like he's part of one of the family. Like he's not.
But like originally, where is he from?
Oh, originally where he's from? Would Billy
You would
know
have
where?
no idea.
Yeah, no, he just kind of. I mean, the Pirates is the only family that's not really family.
Mm.
Like the rest of them have all kind of. There's one line that kind of runs it all, but the Pirates have always been pirates. Ramsey turned up. I feel like Billy just kind of like there's like this Billy's growing up hearing about him is just like this kind of like glorified like cutthroat pirate. You know, he just kind of showed up and through the ranks.
How long has Ramsey been in charge of the Pirates family?
He's not in charge of the Pirates.
He's not in charge. He's he's up there in the ranks, but
Oh, okay.
no one really knows.
He's from the Dune Sea, right? So,
I mean,
Like,
nobody's really
he's-
from the
'cause he's-
Dune Sea.
like, catfish, right?
No, you're right. I like that story better, Red.
Yeah, Billy will
yeah,
kind of
he's
laugh
just
and
from
like
the sea.
turn on his back and then look to Rad and say, Rad, when this is over, we'll go to the ocean and I'll show you the actual sea. We'll be able to see it from the camps, but we'll go somewhere further where we can actually.
He's gonna lean over. Okay, this is really cute, but Billy has no idea we're on the ocean right now. Nobody tell them.
As we would have been walking away from Ramsey's office towards the jail cell hold, Roddy's gonna sort of like walk up to Nori, like elbow nudge, like the tension in there. Oh my god!
Yeah, it was
was
something.
getting steamy.
Shelly, you said you wanted to look over Thrax.
Yes.
With a
I rolled
with a 15, his hands and feet are both chained up in manacles.
Yeah.
He is wrapped in rope,
Okay.
and has his mouth tied shut as well.
Oh.
And he seems fine.
Okay.
Just sleeping.
Okay.
Heavily drugged.
Yeah. Yeah.
His
And
his
everything else
mouth
just like the
his
weighted
mouth is
blanket on
tied
top.
shut. His mouth is tied shut, but his tongue is like hanging out through the front, like a Wile E. Coyote cat cartoon that got knocked out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be undoing any of the ropes. I don't have anything for the manacles at the moment, but at least the ropes are gone.
Sure. You guys.
What are the manacles locked? It's like what's the manacle? Oh, can I actually? I'll just pick Thrax's locks.
Sure. Make a thief's tool check.
That's what, D20 plus dexterity plus proficiency?
If anybody like, cause I'm assuming like crew members are kind of in and out of this area. When one of them comes through, I'm gonna ask them to bring the knocked out Knoll and lock him up into one of the cells that we didn't break. So
I
that
unlocked
they're-
mine, to be
14.
fair. I unlocked
Yeah.
mine.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to pick the lock, just barely.
put those manacles on the other
Sure.
Knoll.
Yeah. You put them on the other Knoll, put the Knoll back in Thrax's cell, and like drag Thrax out of his cell, and it just looks the same.
Oh, razzle dazzle.
The old razzle dazzle.
Uh,
It all comes full circle.
Billy's gonna look at Nori and just say, like, "Are you good with going back?"
I mean, it's not like I have much of a choice, and I planned on going back anyways, so it'll be fine.
Is there anything we should know?
Oh yeah, they want me dead. I mean,
I feel like everybody wants us dead at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, what-
You know, you
what it-
escape. They want to kill you. Little
What is this
rebellion
place?
here and there. Well, some people would call it a work camp. I would call it a prison.
Well, I mean, we're pretty good at getting into prisons and then getting out of them. So,
We do have a good track record for that, so I'm pretty confident. But
I feel like there's not a lot of people that want Roddy dead. There's just one very specific person that Roddy wants dead.
Roddy was the villain all along. Well, I mean, you guys heard what that guy said. Maybe we should ask James for help. All I remember is he was really kind.
Nope, no, he wasn't.
Yeah.
But
James
I didn't
Shelley,
know
I
he
think
was
we
still
remember him.
alive.
Yeah, I think you remember it a little differently. The last time we saw him, he tried to kill us.
Yeah, so Billy and I
When
guess
did
the
you
rest of the
guys
group.
see him?
2 days ago.
A dad? Or your? Did you say that Crick is your father?
Did I say that?
Or
Did-
did he?
I mean, the last thing you remember, you were with your dad, right? Who is your dad?
That the last thing I remember? How many years has it been?
You saw a James Crick not but a few days ago. We were in the gardens and we were trying to escape. We found a safe house to fall asleep in. It was Billy's aunt's old house. And then we moved to a house next door to that. That house got set on fire. You and Billy charged into it.
Actually, I sent you by yourself, Shelley, and I'm really sorry about that. I should have went with you.
I mean, that's okay. I go by myself all the time. Always by
Burning
myself.
buildings.
Yeah, that was. We'll make sure that you don't go by yourself. You've got friends now, Shelley. We're not gonna let you go by yourself anymore.
Good friends.
Oh, big group hug.
Yeah, I think it was a big group hug.
I
Well,
don't know. I don't
Waffles
know.
the chicken waddles up and wraps its wings
Aw.
around you.
Yeah. It like goes up and like on the top of the pile, just like sits down.
Mhm.
Thrax is just asleep.
Yeah.
I thought he was kind. I thought in some way he was my dad, but maybe he just made me. I don't
Made
know.
you?
I mean, that's
Look at
kind of
me.
what a dad does.
Just thought you got in a really bad accident that we didn't like to talk about.
Shelley's unique. Shelley's very unique.
I don't know. I remember they called me a monster a lot, so I figured I was just sort of plopped down at some point. But now I don't know.
That's okay. You don't need to know all the answers now.
We'll make sure that the next meeting with Crick is a little more pleasant for everyone. And you remember it this time.
Okay.
So you don't remember anything that happened at the house?
I think when you said it, I think I remember flames, and I think I went inside. But I don't remember much after that.
Things got
Billy's not
weird.
going to tell Shelley that they tried to murder everyone.
That's, I think
Sweet
that's
little
very-
cinnamon bun that Billy just wants to.
Yeah, because Shelley, you didn't break out of the trance until you were knocked all the way down, right? Yeah.
Yep,
So
that's
things
right.
things got real. Like, you remember going into the house.
Yep.
You remember seeing a small fire. There's somebody else there,
There's
Yeah.
the picture. I don't know.
and then things get weird. Your memories are sort of jumbled together. You remember a lot and very little, all at the same time.
Roddy's gonna lean over to Shelly and be like, "It doesn't matter who you've been. You get to define who you are every single day." Little pat on the back, and Roddy's gonna head out and try to find Monsieur Legon.
Damn, just drops the wisdom.
Yeah.
Bye.
Roddy's just like, you get to choose who you are every single day. For example, today, I'm a pirate! And just charges out onto the deck.
Rusty mateys.
Roddy, you go out to find Monsieur Legume. He is at the helm where he almost always is, up on the wheel of the ship. Just sort of standing there, not doing a whole lot, just sort of guiding the ship.
What's his rank?
He's the first mate of the ship.
How would
So
you
he-
address first
he
mate
is-
in pirate lingo? Like,
Sir.
how you doing, sir? Came over. I had a few questions about the sort of job that your captain has asked of us. And Roddy just wants to go into talking about information about the artifact, where it's located, and what
Sure.
sort of other stuff is in there.
The information that they have gathered is minimal. They don't
Do
have
it in the voice.
They don't have a ton of information.
Yeah, if I have to
But-
do the voice, you have to
But
do the voice.
he says,
Do the voice.
do the roar. He says, we have found many things about this area that we are not sure what to expect, but we have found what we have, and that is what we will have. He pulls out some notes and books and stuff from the bag, and he says, from what we have found, we found that it is the final resting place of some sort of adventurer or some sort of hero, perhaps. But he is a long ago dead man. He is from some other place, perhaps. Not from here, from what we can find. The records, they do not say, though. They're not that we found in our records other than that he is some person of some importance, but we are uncertain of what that importance was, other than that he somehow had all these things that the captain is wanting. So that is what you are going for. You are going to find these things. The things are very important, yes. The item that he most desires, it is a necklace that was being brought over, we believe, on a ship, perhaps. It was to be a gift for one of the how you say He just stops for a solid minute and just stares off into the distance. Emperor. It was to be a gift for them, and then it never arrived. And instead, there is this tomb, and it holds all of the things now. From what we can tell from our studies, which again is not too much.
Thank you. Monsieur Legume, where are you from?
We're all
Jersey, why do you ask?
Yeah, can you not tell from my accent? I am from fantasy Boston. He says, I have been from many places over the time, but these places, they are not how you say what defines you. All over the places. Why do you ask?
Just curious. Do you mind if I take a look at the records that you guys have been studying?
Sure. He'll hand you it over. He won't let it out of his possession, but he'll allow you to look through it.
Sweet. Would that be a history check?
Yeah, make a history check.
Yeah. 23.
Looking it over, you know that based on the sort of rough timeline that has been laid out here, it looks like the individual that is entombed at this location was bringing a gift, an offering of some sort, to the new emperor. That emperor is the last recorded emperor of Brunekilo. They were the emperor that, like, their coronation happened very shortly before the capital city, Maris, was sort of consumed. And magic sort of imploded upon itself.
Right.
According to the records here, this individual was sailing down the eastern coast when magic sort of died, and in an effort to shield people from what he was carrying, went deep into this dungeon complex along the coast. That's sort of what they've been able to piece together from little bits and pieces of ship logs, stories, rumors on the sands, that sort of thing.
Nothing about where they came from before Brunekilo?
No.
And no names, no... Does the artifact have a name? Does the necklace have a name?
No, there's just a very rough drawing of it. That is a chain with just a circular sort of disc at the center, an interlocking sort of lattice work across the front with a gemstone underneath the lattice work.
Cool. Nothing distinguishable that Roddy would know of. Oh, this sort of forging was popular in this type of era. No,
it's pretty. It's beautiful and intricate, but it's pretty simple at the same time. Like its simplicity is very pretty.
Okay, interesting. Is there anything in the notes about other treasures that we could potentially get for ourselves? Because Captain Ramsey only getting this necklace for him.
No, the notes are pretty specific about this item seems to be the focal point of the cargo that was being transported, and nothing else is specifically listed.
Okay.
It said that he was traveling with a large shipment, but it doesn't say what it was.
Okay. Alright. Guess that's all I need. Thank you, Monsieur Lagoon. Appreciate it.
But of course, it is me. I am here to help in any way I can.
How's your day been?
Oh, you know, we got attacked by gnolls earlier. That is not something that you see every day, but
I was wanting to ask about that. How often does that happen? Is it sort of like a regular thing, or do you think that it's worth interrogating the guy we didn't kill?
The gnolls that attacked us, they seem like they are, what is the word, feral. They are not the standard. How do you say, the thinking is not so good for them. They don't seem like they will be doing much of the talking. But the attacks have been escalating recently in this area. There's many gnolls. They seem to be springing up out of the sand like some sort of a tumbleweed or a daffodil.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sweet. Thank you. I'll shake his hand and return to the group.
Oh, Monsieur Legume does not shake hands.
Oh.
He does not like that.
Okay.
He just gives a snappy little salute.
I'll give one back and then I'll head out. I'll go back down to the brig.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Alright, sweet. I'll head back down to the brig. Oh,
Okay.
pirate lingo.
Can I finally go through Hornfell's bag and try to figure out how his weapon works with everyone's assistance, since I can't actually see it?
Sure. You pull out like the items that you had found, the weapon that Hornfell used, the small like cylinders that you had found, the small bag that you had taken off of his body is not in your stuff.
Oh, it's not? Okay. But we still have the mask and the cylinders.
Yes.
And then the weapon?
Mhm.
Okay.
Not the bag. What was in the bag? Do we know?
You have
No.
no idea.
Something
You-
helpful.
You never
Yeah.
you never looked through it.
Right, the Ramsey must. Well, someone must have taken the bag. Probably Ramsey.
Can I check? Can I search Thrax?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, you want to search Thrax?
Oh my god, he's gonna kill you.
What he doesn't
Make
know.
an investigation check. You have advantage because he's unconscious.
I love it, I love it, I love it.
Oh my god.
Let this be a lesson. If you miss a session, people will loot your body.
Yep.
19
19?
investigation.
Okay. You have advantage on it.
Oh, dope.
Nice.
Do that again. I feel like 19's gonna give me
19's
that one.
good. 23 is better. That's a nat 20.
Nice.
Oh, maybe.
Um,
Pull that card. Oh, is that only for attacks?
Yeah, it's only for combat, yeah.
He just like takes a comb
you-
through his fur slowly.
Oh, gosh.
You look him over. We'll have to wait until Gabe is back. But I don't think he told anybody that he had all of those syringes and stuff.
No, he did not. He did not tell
and he
anyone.
definitely does. I don't remember how many I said that he had.
I think it
But
was like 3 or 4.
yeah, he has
Yeah.
a few of them.
And
he
he used one.
He used one of them, yeah.
He did use one.
But yeah, he has one of those syringes, and then several of the tubes are in a box in his stuff.
I
Amazing.
love Thrax. Oh my god.
Um,
I love him so much.
Billy's gonna write a letter to Pacris,
Okay.
but have it like be from Waffles,
Cute.
as like a, because I feel like he would know who Waffles is. So just to let, like, in the very vague, like, roundabout way to like kind of let him know that we are out, but not like any. If anyone should read it, it would just be like a letter, like of like someone writing their friend
Sure.
of like seeing the sights, and now we're going to a new location, but we'll see you soon type thing.
And to verify, how are you sending this?
I was gonna see
Yeah,
if
waffle post.
You just
No,
give
I was
it to
gonna actually
Waffles.
I was gonna give it to Legume to have him, because the pirates have a postal system, so.
Sure.
Sure, they
Yeah,
have
you
delivery.
want to give it to Legume?
Oh, I'm gonna give it to Mr. Courier.
Mm.
No, dang it! I don't trust anybody on.
To Mr. Courier, and he's like, "Yeah, man, sure, I'll take it." And he just runs off the boat, comes back in a few minutes. He's like, "Yeah, Father Packer says hi."
I love that.
Yeah. I feel like I would confer with the group of like the best person to give a letter to.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys had good dealings with Courier, because I don't trust Ramsey
Yeah, I
and his
mean,
crew. as far
Mr.
as
Courier
I mean,
seems pretty cool.
He seems like he can be paid.
Okay. I mean, does anybody have money? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna check to see if all my money's still there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
We all-
all your money's there.
Just not the Hornfell's bag. Damn it.
The only
That's
thing
okay.
that's missing is that bag.
The bag. Okay. Can I get Shelly to help me with the weapon to try to figure out how it works?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I give the letter to Mr. Courier.
Okay.
And like a couple gold pieces to
Sure.
have him
Yeah.
make sure it gets safely delivered.
Yeah. Shelly, make me an investigation check. You have advantage on it because Nori's helping you. To try and figure out how to make this work. Another nat 20.
Queen.
There
of
you go.
queens.
So this weapon, it will act as a normal glaive.
Wait, click on the roll. I got a nat 1 and a nat 20.
Incredible.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Awesome.
Looking it over, it will act as a normal weapon. For the sake of stats, it's a double-bladed scimitar.
Okay.
If you insert in the actual handle of it, you can open it up and put one of those cylinders inside of it and close it. It will activate, and energy will charge into both of the blades, which will deal extra lightning damage. It also technically counts as a magic weapon for the sake of overcoming resistances and stuff like that when you are hitting things with it.
Hey, Hunter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I
Are
use
those
them?
cylinders batteries?
They seem like batteries, yeah.
I love me some fantasy batteries.
I know
So-
you do.
Is it considered like a martial weapon or like a simple?
It would be a martial weapon, yeah.
Okay. I can use that.
So Billy, you said up there that Captain Ramsey knows something about all of us?
Captain
Like-
Ramsey knows about, all the, you know that it's not normal that we have these magics, right?
Right.
And I mean, Ramsey knows a lot about a lot of things. I don't know if he knows everything about us, but I think he knows a lot about more about this party than I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, I'm not sure Ramsey knew where I was from.
But yeah, you did mention coming from the mines, so just be careful. And then Billy's also, because I know during the whole escape, Billy, I think briefly mentioned something about their grandmother, but is going to tell the party that their grandmother has powers as well to control bodies, to control people, and tell everyone in confidence, just to make sure if we run into it again, but also not to mention it to Captain Ramsey. And is also going to check the room. It's going to be whenever Billy talks on board, is always going to make sure that there's nobody else in the room or near the room to make sure that nobody else is listening. But I think he knows, as much as Captain Ramsey likes to play his hand to kind of lord over people, he also doesn't give everything away, so he definitely knows more than he's letting on, so just be careful. I don't know if he has magics or not, but I would not be surprised to find out that he does.
Okay, I might go ask him a question.
What kind of question? You should bring somebody with you.
I mean, if he's been around a lot, he may know a lot of things. So I come from a village of furbolgs, but I mean, have you guys ever seen a furbolg?
I mean, there's a lot of different people in the gardens I've seen, but outside,
They don't usually, look like this. So, but I don't know who my dad is. Speaking of dads and who created you.
Shall just point to the bald leg?
I mean, Rad's never seen my furbolg leg.
Oh.
And
That's true.
did we decide that it looked like Rad or not?
You
I
also
hope
have a
so.
yes/no dice that
Oh
you
my
can
God.
figure that out.
Really?
It doesn't look like Rad. It is
a rad as your leg.
it's pretty standard for a
Generic?
bog leg.
Okay. Never mind then.
But yeah, just I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who he is or was and what I am.
Is this
Oh,
your
no.
dad?
I don't think so. I think there's probably more of him than that. And he probably didn't look like a furbolg because my mom's a furbolg, and then my dad's got to be something else. But yeah, I just wonder if he knows anything.
Yeah, I mean, he knows a lot about a lot of things, so you should probably you can. I mean,
The people we've run into, we haven't had a lot of opportunities to actually ask people questions because most of the time they really want to hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is one of the first times since Father Pacris that, like, he doesn't just outright want to kill us. So, yeah, I'm going to go ask him.
Okay.
And Rad will start to walk out of the room.
Okay.
Billy's gonna like trail behind and like not necessarily
Yeah.
go in the room, but definitely like park outside
Okay.
to like make sure nothing nefarious happens.
I think Nori's gonna go with Rad and just kind of like stand in the back of the room.
Okay. So you approach the door to
I just,
Captain Ramsey's office. The door opens. Ramsey sort of looks up at you.
Hi, Captain. I had a couple of. You've been around a lot, right?
I have been many places, yes.
So, have you ever seen anything that looks like this?
He just gestured to all of you.
Yeah.
He looks you over.
I know earlier I said I was shipping Ramsey and Billy, but I gotta say, this is a strong contention moment for that. You ever see something that looks like this?
Shipping everyone with Ramsey.
He
The
sort
one
of
with all
looks,
the hair with the one with no
Right.
hair.
he looks you over. He sort of walks around you, looking you up and down. He says,
No, you are an oddity for me.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes. Okay, well, if you ever come about anybody that looks kind of like me, but not a furble, then, will you let me know?
he smiles. He says,
I will do my very best.
Oh, thanks. That's really nice. I appreciate it. And then he'll just leave.
Aw.
Just leaves the door open behind him.
Oh.
Billy like peeks in and glares.
the door shuts and just bashes Billy in the nose.
Ramsey's
Just muttering like
that exotic.
stupid
Can't
face.
believe it. SMH.
You guys settle in over the next few days of travel. And then you guys begin to hear something. Rad, this is a new sound for you. Nori, this is a sound you know very well. It's the sound of the ocean hitting the cliffs. You can see heading up out onto the deck. The Dreich Ocean stretches out as far as you can see. The ship rests atop the cliffs here, looking out across it. You see just miles and miles of cliffs and ocean.
This breaks Rad.
Rad, you just sort of sink to your knees at the railing, just staring out across the ocean.
That's water, Rad.
Where have we been this whole time?
The Dune Sea. We've been in the desert.
If that's the... Okay. So that's a sea and this is the ocean.
No, that's
Got
this
it.
is this is a desert and that's the ocean.
But the desert is called the Dune Sea because people sail across it like a sea. But a sea is also water.
And the Dune Sea
So-
isn't.
right.
It's sand.
I
I don't remember if I can swim
I
or
don't
not.
know.
Oh, you can't really get to the water here.
Shelly, it's okay. I'll, if anyone needs to get into the water, I'll get into the water. You can stay on the ship.
Nori.
Goats?
hmm
Echoing over the water with your keen hearing in the distance. You can hear just this just echoing across the water. It's almost beautiful to everyone other than you. To you, that is not a good sound. That's the howling mines of Torbasa. You're very close to home. And that's where we're going to wrap up this week.
We're finally got Nori home.
You probably got home.
Thrax
Thrax is gonna be
is
so
asleep.
happy. I know.
Does that mean he's just
Happy
gonna
and
leave?
confused.
He's like, oh,
Thrax just
done
wanders
here.
off into the desert. He's like, I've filled my quest.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That would happen.
Okay. Well done, guys.
I have a new conspiracy theory.
Oh, do you? Normally, I thoroughly encourage my players to listen back to episodes if you want to. Don't do that on this one.
How dare you?
That's right.
And Alex was listening to that whole thing.
Oh, I saw his username pop up. Yep.
Alex, lord this over her. Don't.
Alex, do
He
not
already
tell
does
her
that with the
anything.
main campaign, okay?
Um,
It's enough.
Alex,
It's enough.
one GM to another, reveal
Murder.
nothing.
I have questions, Hunter. I think
Really
yeah.
such a
I have
secret.
clarifications I need that we can do later.
Sure, we can talk. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. We will be back next week. Hopefully, Gabe is feeling better. We will be we'll return next week. And then I believe, let me verify real quick.
I cannot go back home without Thrax. So, Gabe?
Yeah, we
Gabe,
will.
get your shit together.
We will be back next week, and then we are taking a week off because I get married that following weekend.
It's so close.
And half the hooligans will be there. So
Yeah.
we'll drop some pictures in the Discord of us looking real good.
Yeah. I get to pick up my my suit stuff for.
I just
Oh, yeah.
I just dropped mine off to be tailored.
I'll
so-
be there in spirit when I die
Yeah.
during surgery.
Oh,
Oh.
You can also drop pictures in the Discord of the surgery.
Yeah. Elliot and Mel, you guys can both get just really dressed up at home and draw pictures in. We'll Photoshop you in.
no! Mel sends a picture from her bathtub in a gown.
Oh my god!
Oh man. Until next time, everybody. Have a great week. Remember to embrace the nonsense. We'll see you next time.